entertainmentbuddha.com.
Hey there, geeks, gamers, and nonconformists. It's me, Mario. No, actually, Matt Haywood from entertainmentbuddha.com, getting ready to do the recap and review of last night's episode of The Walking Dead, which was titled Spend. Like, I gotta spend some dough. Alright, so let's get right into the recap. So it opens up with Gabe, you know, the priest that they saved back before the mid-season break. So Gabe's in there. It looks like they've got a makeshift church going on in Alexandria. Makes sense. Gabe's a priest. He's got his little thing going on. So he's going to be the priest of Alexandria. But while he's sitting there, he's reading the Bible and tearing pages out like, ooh. You can tell something's bothering him, but more on that later, because that scumbag comes in and really does a one-old to Rick and his group at the very end. So anyways, from here, the episode transitions to Noah. All right, Noah's a young black kid that was with Beth, and Beth died. Now Noah's with them, all that fun stuff. So he's sitting there talking with Deanna's husband, who is an engineer and architect, built a wall. And Noah's like, hey man, I want to be a builder too. You know, Bob the Builder, Master Builder, the Lego movie, whatever. He wants to craft stuff. So Deanna's husband's like, all right man, cool, you're in it. In fact, here's a journal. Start writing down everything you hear. And Noah inscribes, it's the beginning, or something like that. That'll come into play later as well. All right, so the other main thing going on is really a few stories being told throughout this episode. The main one was the run that Aiden, Eugene, Glenn, Noah, Nicholas, see, I somehow remember all these names, I don't know why, but they go out on a run, or Tara too, they go on a run to get a new kind of power converter to use for the power system in Alexandria, which has gone out. So that's one story, we'll touch on that. Then you've got the very slight little thread of Rick and Jesse, Jesse's son Sam, Jesse's husband Pete, and then obviously Carol's mixed in there because of Sam and the cookies and the guns. You know, cookies and guns. Carol's the best. And then there's, you know, brief moments of Maggie with Deanna. So you kind of get, oh, and then Abe and the construction crew. So those are the main threads that were woven throughout Spend. But really the narrative between each of these stories was kind of Rick's group already ascending to powers of position within Deanna's group. And how, is that a good thing, a bad thing? Some people love it, some people obviously don't. And as we found out at the end, Gabe is completely against it because he's a communist. Alright, so we got Aiden and them. They head to this warehouse to get the supplies, or the power supply. And while they're in there, you can see that, you know, Glenn has finally, or Aiden is beginning to accept Glenn's advice. I mean, Aiden's still the leader. He still gets to drive. And you gotta love the van they're driving in with that techno music. It's like... I was like, that's kind of weird. Why would you want to drive around with techno music blaring in a van? But it comes in handy. So that's kind of one of those techniques that showmakers use to tease something that might be of use later in the episode. So anyways, they go to this warehouse. As usual, all shit hits the fan. Aiden's shooting down a zombie that used to be an army guy who has a grenade on his chest. He hits the grenade, and booyah! Aiden gets impaled on some spikes. You know, all hell breaks loose. The zombies that are in the building, they get out. They start wanting to eat Eugene because he's a wuss, and he doesn't want to save Tara. And Glenn saves the day, and Noah saves the day. But then as they go to save Aiden, they realize it's too late. He's dead. But he's like, yo, listen, we're pieces of crap. We don't treat people the way you do. Essentially, the reason we'd always lose people when we went out on runs is because we would leave them to be eaten. So he's like, just leave me, whatever. And then he gets chewed upon, opened up, in a very violent death. I mean, they're just sitting there. The zombies are like clawing out his intestines and eating it like it's spaghetti while he's alive. So, bye-bye, Aiden. So anyways, as they're trying to get out, some more things go wrong. Eventually, Eugene makes out with Tara. He kind of nuts up and acts like a man, gets her in the van, and notices that Glenn, Noah, and Nicholas are trapped in a revolving door. All right, so he does what anyone would do, and he pumps up the volume. That's right, that techno music did come in handy after all. So the zombies start walking away, but not before Nicholas doesn't follow the plan and jumps out early, which causes Noah to get dragged away by walkers and violently, even more gruesomely killed than Aiden. I mean, they sit there and they like fish hook his face off. It is messed up. And Glenn's sitting there watching the whole time, just like mortified that he's seeing his new friend. I mean, they've been traveling for a while, but his new friend just getting ripped to shreds by zombies, all because of this Nicholas punk didn't wait and ran away. He also tried to get Eugene to give him the van, but Glenn came up and said, "Hey, Nicholas, bam! Take a seat, get a life, I hate you." All right, so they go away, and then, you know, the things with Rick, he's being told that someone's vandalizing Jesse's statues. We later find out that's her son, probably because her husband Pete beats him and her. So I love Carol and Sam, their really relationship that's starting to blossom here, where at first I think Carol was annoyed by the kid, but now she realizes that he is, like she used to be in her kids, in an abusive relationship, and that's why Sam is destroying stuff and wants a gun and wants to shoot his family and all this fun stuff. And then finally we had Abe, so he's working on a construction crew, and they're out there, and a big swarm of zombies come in, and they start killing people. Their outlook falls down. She's about getting eaten. And again, just like Aiden, these people are like, "Oh, leave her. Let's run. Let's go." And Abe's like, "Chill out, everyone. I've got this." So he saves her, rallies a fight with the zombies, who actually motivates some of the bums who ran away to come back and help him. And he sits there and he plays zombie baseball. I mean, he's bouncing heads off of his bat like it's like they're cantaloupes, really. It was beautiful. Beautiful gore in this episode. So anyways, the guy, the foreman before, he goes into Deanna. He's like, "Hey man, Abe knows what he's doing. I know he's only been here a couple of weeks, but he should be the new power position." Which Deanna, you can tell, is starting to become a bit concerned over, which is highlighted at the end by that scumbag Gabriel. I've never liked this dude. He's always been a punk, but he basically goes to Deanna and rats out Rick and his group. He's like, "Listen, Rick is the devil in disguise. His group, they are all the devil in disguise, and they will turn on you in the snap of a finger." All while Maggie is listening to this, so obviously there's going to be some fallout for Gabriel. But he's ratted him out. Deanna kind of is like, "Okay, thanks." Obviously she's thinking about it, but who knows where it's going to go from here. So overall, review-wise, I did like Spend. Obviously, the gore was fantastic. 100 out of 100. The gore is just beautiful. It was almost too brutal, to be honest with you, and I love gore. But as far as the episode as a whole, I did like the little personal stories it told about each character. So, you know, like I said, you got Abe, you had Eugene going through some growth there. You know, Rick's always in the mix. You had Gabriel doing his thing. And then poor Noah. You know, no one's safe. Does not matter just because they've already killed, what, 3 or 4 main characters now. That doesn't mean another one still won't die. There's 2 episodes left, so we know there could be more death to come. Overall, I'd give this episode, Spend, a 90 out of 100 Entertainment Buddhas. So that's it, people. Hopefully you've been enjoying these recaps and reviews with my awesome stick figure drawings. We got 2 more to go in this season, and then I'll be on a break from The Walking Dead. So, good episode last night. Spend. Check it out. Recommend it. This is Matt Haywood from EntertainmentBuddha.com, where we make you a better geek, one post at a time. Brain.
EntertainmentBuddha.com